Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Debbie, and today we are doing a yin yoga for your low back. So if you've ever experienced low back pain, this is for you. It is beginner friendly. It is available for everyone to do. And the only prop you will need today is a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, a pillow will work just as well, or anything that you can roll up and put underneath your knees. If you have a yoga bolster or anything like that, feel free to go and grab those. Otherwise, we are going to begin at the back of the mat in traditional child's pose. So knees will be together and we will be leaning over the knees. You can pad the knees if you need to, use that blanket for that. So we'll sit back on the knees and then we'll just drape over. And in this one, we are getting a nice stretch through our low back. We're allowing our shoulders to round naturally, so it will open up the upper back as well, which will help alleviate some pain from the low back. And as always, we want to breathe deeply in and out through the belly. And if this does hurt, maybe you need to bring your head up off the floor onto a blanket, or maybe the alternative to this traditional child's pose would be the wide legs child's pose. You are getting more of a hip stretch there and stretch the upper back. This is for the low back. And in yin, we hold poses anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes for me in this one. If it's a longer class, then you'll hold the poses for longer. And I won't talk continuously throughout. And if any thoughts pop into your head, just watch them float away like clouds. Just about 3 more breaths in this pose. Breathing in and out. Feeling the body relax a little more with each breath. And we'll come out of this pose slowly, bringing the hands forward. We're going to come onto all fours on our hands and knees. And again, if you would like to pad your knees, feel free to use a blanket or yoga jellies or roll the sides of the mats over. So make sure that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, your knees are directly underneath your hips, your feet are out long. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round the back. Cat-cow. Try and match breath with movement, so inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And to make sure you're not putting all the weight in your wrists, you want to make sure you've got your fingers spread wide. And that you're pushing into the knuckles of your fingers and thumbs. Your palms will have a slight suction cup kind of action going on, so they're lifting slightly off of the mat. But if you do find this too much for the wrists, you can always come up onto your fists. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Just takes a little bit of tension off. And every time you come down and arch the belly or arch the back, relax the belly. 3 more here. The last one. Come back to neutral. Walk the knees backwards and the hands forward and lower your waist slowly onto your belly. We're going to set up for Sphinx pose here. So lifting up onto the elbows. Make sure that you are not straining through your low back so that you're pushing a little bit more through the pubic bone. Legs are nice and long behind you, and they're slightly engaged here. And in yin, we are going for a 3 or 4 on the intensity scale. So if anything hurts, back off. And focus on having a nice long neck in your Sphinx pose. Your elbows should be directly underneath your shoulders. And again, if this is too much on the elbows, you could use a blanket. You could roll the yoga mat underneath. If you've got yoga jellies for your knees, you can also use them on your elbows. Listening to your body is the most important part with yin. With any yoga, actually, not just yin, but any yoga. If you'd like to close down the eyes, feel free to do so. And we're just going to take about 3 more breaths in and out here. Last one. And we'll lower down. Forehead on the mat, just relaxing for a moment. We're going to make our way into a seated position. So any way that is comfortable for you, maybe you want to flip over, come up onto the knees. This is where you will need your blanket. So I just have a basic blanket here. I'm just going to roll it up. Again, if you've got a bolster or something, that works great, or a pillow, anything just so that you can put it underneath your knees. This is a supported forward fold. So we want to inhale to find length, and then exhale, lean over. Because this is yin, we're going to let the back round naturally. Your hands can just stay on your legs. They can go down by your sides. Doesn't really matter. For yin, toes are not the goal. Tucking your chin in slightly to round the upper back as well. And in this one, what we're really thinking about is just allowing the body to relax and feeling a nice gentle stretch through the low back. As always, taking nice full deep belly breaths. Having the blanket under the knees just helps you to not force the body into any real shape here. Not flexing or pointing the toes. And you might notice the longer you hold this, the closer your body becomes the closer your body comes to the legs. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. Every day is different. And again, we don't want to be really straining in any of these poses, so you should be maybe at like a 3 for intensity, that you can feel that your body is stretching, but certainly not beyond a 4 or 5, that's for sure. If you are, then back off. Sit up a little higher. This stretch is also stretching our hamstrings, which for me, when I first started yoga, were so tight that I couldn't even do this. I was pretty much sitting and leaning forward by an inch or two, and that was it. So if that's where you are today, that's perfectly fine. Just know that the more you practice, the more your body will lengthen, and the more comfortable you will be, allowing your body to come into poses and shapes like this. A couple more breaths here. Last breath in, and we'll push our way up. Using the hands on the legs, walking them slowly back until we're up into a fully seated position with the head and shoulders last thing to come up. Now you can take that blanket and push it off to the side. We won't be needing it, but if you want to use it, feel free to do so. Going to make our way onto our backs now. Maybe hold on to the back of the legs, slowly lowering your way down. We'll extend our left leg out long and pull that right knee in towards the chest for half wind pose. If this doesn't feel comfortable, maybe it's too much of a stretch through the front of the leg, try the blanket under the knee, or alternatively, you can bend so that the foot is flat on the ground and then just let that leg flop over to the side, or keeping the knee just bent. As always, listening to your body. Nothing should be hurting here. And I guess a good measure, really, when you're doing any yoga, not just yin, but is if you can take a full breath in and out and fill that belly full of air. Well, I am comfortable there, but if you're not comfortable, then back off a little bit. Couple more breaths in and out. And from here, we're going to transition into half happy baby. So whatever position your leg was in, you can keep it there. We are just going to grab onto the outside of the right foot. and try and bring that knee in towards the armpit. That is the imaginary shape that we are going for. Your elbow should be on the inside of the right knee. And for me, having my leg extended just feels like a bit much, so I'm just going to bend my knee, my left knee, and then just let my left knee flop over to the outside. If it feels comfortable for you to keep the leg straight, you can do that. But for me, it just felt a little too intense in the front part of my body, so I'm more comfortable this way. And if you're just following along to the sound of my voice and don't understand, feel free to peek at the video anytime you need to. I am just here as your guide. About 3 more breaths here. Last one. And we'll release that. Maybe it feels good to take the feet as wide as a yoga mat and just dropping the knees over to one side and then the other. Or maybe full wind pose feels good for you here, rocking a little side to side. You choose. It's your body. And now we'll take that to the other side. So pulling the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg along. In whatever shape you took on the other side, just know that maybe this side feels different and it feels good to extend the leg. Maybe it feels good to resume the same shape that you had on the other side. And yin yoga classes are always a great way to start and end your day. And also, if you have an intention that you would like to set, maybe it's something that you want to feel, maybe it's something you want to do, or maybe it's something you want to let go. Maybe it's something you're grateful for, or that you want to express more gratitude throughout your day. Leave me a comment and let me know what intention you set for how you would like the rest of your day to go. And we've just got about 3 more breaths here. And as we did on the other side, we're just going to transition into happy baby. So grabbing onto the outside of that left foot, elbow coming inside the knee. And again, for me, having that leg extended just feels like a little too much. So I'm just going to bend my right knee and let my right knee flop over to the outside of the mat. Again, feel free to take a peek at the video if you're not understanding the shape that I'm describing. And it's funny how the whole body is connected. You might be feeling pain in your low back, but maybe it's coming from your hamstring. Maybe it's coming from your calf. Maybe it's coming from your shoulder. It's just the human anatomy is not one individual body part, as we like to break it down into sometimes. Sometimes it's the body as a whole, and it's just decided that today it's going to show you it's not happy in your low back. Also, if you find it's too much to keep holding on to the outside of your foot, you can just grab a big toe with the two piece fingers. Because sometimes the foot does get a bit heavy holding it in the hands, especially as the body starts to relax. Just about 5 more breaths here. Then we'll slowly release. And if it felt good to do so on the other side, maybe windshield wiper, or maybe you want to try full wind, your choice. Now we're going to bring the feet flat on the mat. We're going to pick the hips up, shifting them over to the left, and then shifting the hips over to the right, dropping the knees over to the left, and extending the arm out to the side or cactusing the arm, placing the left hand on top of the right knee, laying spinal twist. Maybe it feels good to place that blanket or bolster in between the knees here. Maybe it feels better to be looking up to the ceiling for your neck. As always, it's the yogi's choice, doing what feels good in your body. Three more breaths. And we'll use the inhale of the last breath to bring the knees up. Exhale to pick the hips up, shifting them over to the left, and then dropping the knees over to the right. Right hand on top of left knee, extending that left arm out either to the side or cactusing the arm. Maybe you notice this side feels different and whatever shape you were in doesn't feel quite the same. And that's okay. Just noticing and making any minor adjustments that you need to so that it feels good in your body. And just 3 more breaths in and out here. Lifting the knees up, you can use the hands, give them some assistance. Bringing the hips back to the center of the mat. Shrug the shoulders away from the ears, extending one leg long and then the other, taking up space. Maybe you'd like to use the blanket to cover yourself up today to really settle into your Savasana. Maybe you'd like to use it as a pillow. Maybe you want to put it underneath your hips or extend it so it goes underneath the knees. Your choice. And let's close down the eyes if you haven't already. And just let the body absorb the practice today. This is our final resting pose. Now feel free to stay here longer if you'd like, but if you'd like to end this practice with me here and get on with whatever you have to do for your day, begin wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes, gently turning the head from side to side, reaching arms up overhead, rolling over into fetal position on one side or the other. And then push your way up into a seated position, maybe keeping the eyes closed. Bringing the hands to the center of your chest, bowing your chin to your chest, thanking your body for taking you through this practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today for this yin yoga for low back. I hope your back feels better now. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and notification bell. I am posting weekly on YouTube, and I look forward to practicing with you on the mat again soon.